Hi everyone, welcome to Farsight Weekly. We are replacing our normal monthly Farsight update with this new Farsight Weekly show, and there are good reasons for this. This is crunch time in the world. Change is happening and really fast. Wars are spinning out of control. Politics are polarized like never before. Crucial elections are about to happen, and the mainstream news is censoring so much information that it is nearly impossible for anyone to figure out what is really going on. But at Farsight, we help you sort things out so you can see through the mainstream deception. I am Courtney Brown, Director of Farsight, where we study the subject of remote viewing, widely applied, where all data are collected under totally blind and scientifically defendable conditions. We also often have an interest in things that are extraterrestrial, such as UAPs or UFOs and ET activities. So, let's dive in. What happened this past week? Well, plenty. There have been assassinations, and wars in the Middle East, already bad, are getting ready to explode to an unprecedented scale. Plus, the wars seem ready to extend geographically much further than in previous iterations. Now, Iran and other countries are becoming involved, not just countries directly surrounding Israel. Well, if there ever was a timely project, our project on Israel's future, just released last month in July 2024, hits the mark. If you have not seen it on farsightprime.com, now is when you need to watch the entire thing. An updated version was just published at the end of July. Moreover, we explore different timelines in which alternate conditions exist so that you can see not just one future, but also futures that could have happened if different things were done. Our Israel's Future project shows futures that are dramatically different, and it seems like the future where there is large-scale violence is about to play out. So, if you want to see what is likely going to happen before it happens, the data are ready for you to see right now on farsightprime.com. In general, Farsight projects tend to be exceptionally accurate, and again, all of our data are collected under scientifically defendable and totally blind conditions. Also, at farsightprime.com, we have forums where people have discussions and ask zillions of questions. We are now formally engaging these questions in a highly public manner, so Farsight is not just a place to see the world using an entirely different lens, it is also a place where you can interact with others and have discussions. We are starting off the month of August 2024 with Aziz Brown answering many of the questions posed in the forums. Here is Aziz explaining what is going on.
Hi everyone, I'm recording this on August 1st, the first day of our Ask Farsight Anything event, and I'm excited to say that we already have 100 replies to the question section of the Farsight forum, and it's only day one. I just started answering some questions, but I wanted to pick some thought-provoking questions out to share with you all today. Of course, the identity of the questioner will remain anonymous as I share my answers. So, one question was about if I have recovered my entire memory with regards to my past lives or just part of it. Well, I've only recovered a small part. It is like a handful of .gif files or GIF files and .jpeg files as well as some .mp4 video files. Just sort of an amalgam of short scenes that did help me put together quite a bit. I did quite a few things to get that much. A chunk came from QHHT or quantum hypnosis healing therapy. Some came from a time when I spent half a year in the deserts, mainly Nevada and sometimes Southern California, living in a camper, and I was spending a lot of my time meditating and doing martial arts forms in the desert. I saw lots of UFOs out there. I was never recording, but there are some wild things in the sky when you spend months nearby Area 51. Anyways, one time I threw a punch and my vision just went black, and these images and visuals of what I knew instinctively was a repressed memory of some other life I had experienced began to vividly flood my vision. Other times I sat down and I did a structured meditation practice where I would actually beforehand record myself guiding my future self in meditation through a visualization and then leave a gap in the instructions where I allowed visuals to imprint upon my awareness of a time or a place connected with these lost memories. Other times I did a typical remote viewing session, but I used a computer and a pool of targets to act as a digital tasker of sorts, for myself to do solo sessions basically. Across all of these experiences, I have a very sparse piece-by-piece understanding of who I was and why I'm here on this planet now. But it's a lot more than I had before, and just by having those pieces, I really do feel like I've gained a lot of understanding to basically keep my feet on solid ground, so to speak. Another question was stating, what is the best way to go about learning telepathy? Well, my answer is consistent practice. If you want to tunnel vision gaining telepathic abilities, I would set up experiments that test your progress over and over again, so that you know how to trust that intuition, so to speak. And it's more than intuition. It gets clear. You'll need another person. Grab some Uno cards just to start out. This is just one of many exercises. And don't use any of the draw fours or any of the other black and white cards, just the colorful ones. Have another person hold up a card and look at it without showing it to you. You then have to guess the color of that card. You should get really good at this. Experiment with habits that make you better and better. Meditation makes this much easier the deeper that you get into said meditation. At Farsight, we have set up training sessions where we go through a wide variety of practice exercises, just like this. Sometimes we are trying to describe the shape and color of various geometric crystals or platonic solids, or just a color of one of these Uno cards, or numbers. Practice makes perfect, and the adaptive practice that involves testing these lengthier meditation sessions and then measuring the effect that such behaviors have on your results is the best way to improve. Finally, one other user asked, had there been any projects during my remote viewing career here at Farsight that has frightened me? And what projects affected me the most? I've never had a session that frightened me, but I have had sessions that caused anger and disgust quite a bit. I haven't always had a positive view of ETs, extraterrestrials, so hate and anger have been a much more prevalent emotion. I have, however, had quite a bit of anxiety going into some sessions where I worry that I will see sexual violence. This has happened a few times, and I never really like watching these things, but I have to record the session data. On the flip side, the Hathor project was one of my favorite projects. I was in a very clear headspace during this project, and the perceptions were very vivid. The images of her torching armies, even her own army, with that staff, those are forever etched into my mind. My favorite projects tend to have less to do with what I'm seeing, but how well I saw it. Some projects, given the more disciplined and lengthy meditation habits that I may have had at the time, have been very vivid and strikingly clear. Anyways, I hope that has helped you get a better idea of what this question and answer form is like. I'm going to do my very best to answer as many of these questions as I possibly can with big full answers just like you heard here today. So hop on over to the Farsight Prime forums and ask some questions. I'll see you there.
Also in August, we are starting a new project called the Farsight Board Meeting. Now this is a meeting with all or most of us at Farsight together with one or two extraterrestrials. It is recorded live with no scripting. If you follow our activities, you know that we have long had direct interactions with extraterrestrials, the ETs who we call the good ETs. The U.S. government, plus some other governments, have direct interactions with a group of extraterrestrials who we call the bad ETs. Now, the bad ETs give technological weapons assistance to help reverse engineer ET technology taken from crashed ET ships that are being shot down by the U.S. secret space program. It is a complicated true story that you can find out about on farsightprime.com. Well, the good ETs want to stop all that and to free humanity from the manipulative control by the bad ETs. The good ETs have very limited access to governmental, corporate, and media leadership, so they have been working with the masses directly to gradually give people true information about the extraterrestrials working in the Earth and near-Earth environment. Now, the good ETs want to end all of the secrecy and manipulation. Freedom means learning the truth. And you can only get that by seeing the raw data. Well, the good ETs want us to show you some of our interactions that happen right here at Farsight. No secrets. So we are now recording our board meeting so that you can watch the interactions for yourself. You have to understand that There is currently a Cold War between the good ETs and the bad ETs. When disclosure breaks out big time on this planet, the Cold War is going to change into a hot war, and that is when you will see a shootout between the two ET groups. No one will miss it, and the time when this will happen is not too far away. The crises that are building in the world today will force it to happen. The Cold War conditions involve written agreements between the U.S. government and the bad ETs that require the continued secrecy of all UFO or UAP activity. Because of these agreements, if the good ETs interact in a manner that is physically visible to humans, then violence would result instantly. So, the ETs themselves are forced to use technology that keeps them physically invisible. Nonetheless, the interactions themselves are sufficiently natural that any reasonable person can see that they are real when you watch them. In fact, if the ETs were physically visible, our opponents would simply say that the ETs are actors and not real ETs, so the invisibility is not really a problem. At Farsight, even with the UFO ships, we have pioneered showing people how to evade ET stealth tech when video recording the ships of the bad ETs using specially modified cameras. Now, there exists a sizable cottage industry of people who follow our methods and share their results on social media. So the invisibility thing is real, and you have proof with respect to their ships. The bad ETs are trying to hide themselves from you. So invisibility with respect to all ETs, including the good ETs, should be no surprise. I understand that we at Farsight have spent years in training, and we can see the ETs without any difficulty, even though they are invisible to others. Still, these are some of the interactions that we have, and we plan on recording these interactions on a monthly basis and then letting you see them. The communications themselves are fascinating to watch. My suggestion is simply to watch the Farsight board meetings and then to decide for yourself. If you want to believe that it is all staged and fake, that is your choice, and we will respect your free will choice to make such a decision. But if you are open-minded enough to watch the board meetings and consider the possibilities, then you will learn a lot, and part of the secrecy that plagues this world will be lifted. Farsight board meetings starting late this month on farsightprime.com. Please understand that there is no way that we can put content like this on YouTube. YouTube is nice, but there are limits on what can be posted on YouTube. So please head over to farsightprime.com to see such content. Our next Earth Mysteries project will be out around the middle of the month, also on farsightprime.com, and that will be Tanis. Tanis is an archaeological site in Egypt where there are huge monoliths, ruins, and rock formations that were destroyed in some kind of cataclysm. Well, we now know exactly what happened in Tanis long ago to destroy the place. And you will find out also around the middle of August 2024, only on farsightprime.com. You are going to want to see this one. Also, I should add at this point that on farsightprime.com we are now offering captions in multiple languages for many of our videos, so English is not a limitation on farsightprime.com. Now, deep news. Most of our audience knows about our Deep News project that we publish on both YouTube and farsightprime.com. Well, it just so happens that our next Deep News project is the upcoming war between Israel and Hezbollah. Now, we honestly did not think this would be so timely when it was done, but the war between Israel and Hezbollah seems ready to kick off big time any day, and if you want to see how it will turn out, you have front row seats at Farsight. At Farsight, we do not like wars. Wars between humans are largely a result of manipulative activities of the bad ETs who try to keep humanity in a constant state of chaos and turmoil, precisely to stop people from settling down and focusing on the ET activities. So this is no exception. But at Farsight, we need to use these moments of struggle as opportunities to show you how remote viewing works and to give you the deep, deep. So keep watching Farsight to find out how this human tragedy is going to evolve. Moving on, Instagram. We regularly update 2 important Instagram pages. I have often encouraged our audience to follow my personal Instagram page, Courtney Brown Farsight, to see UFO footage that we take with our own Farsight cameras, but we are also utilizing our Farsight Prime Instagram page to post short videos less than a minute long of some of our projects, including our deep news projects and lots of other stuff. These types of videos are called shorts, so it is worthwhile to also follow our other Instagram page, Farsight Prime, to see these intriguing shorts of our remote viewing content. Instagram is free and really convenient since it is on your phone. Again, my personal Instagram page for UFO footage that we take with our own cameras, Courtney Brown Farsight, all one word. And also Farsight Prime Instagram page, which is Farsight Prime, all one word, where you can find lots of great shorts of our remote viewing content. Remember that we have a huge instructional and educational effort here at Farsight. We have people teaching our version of remote viewing, and we offer lots of instructional videos on farsightprime.com, plus printed materials on farsight.org. We are also listing our Farsight certified instructors who are teaching these classes, and the list will grow as more people obtain certification. The Farsight instructors are doing this on their own. Farsight does not get any financial benefit from their activities. So start by going to our website, farsight.org, and near the top of the navigation bar on the left, you will see a link for remote viewing courses. Farsight is totally transparent. Farsight is first class from top to bottom, so when you follow our stuff, you are engaging with the best. To keep up with what we do at Farsight, start by subscribing to our YouTube channel and remember to click on the notifications bell that appears after you subscribe. That is the only way YouTube will notify you of the new events, especially our live stream events. Just subscribing doesn't do anything. The notifications bell is the important part. But that only notifies you of things that we release on YouTube. To be notified about the things that we release on farsightprime.com, which you can watch using our Apple and Android apps on the web and on your home TV, you need to subscribe to our free email newsletter found on our website at farsight.org. You can also allow the apps to notify you of our new releases on farsightprime.com. The links for YouTube and our newsletter are in the description area below this video, and the app, well, that's on your phone. Those are how we announce what we do. We never send out spam, and we never give our subscriber list to anyone else for any purpose. Well, that is it for this week at Farsight. Stick with us in these changing times, and we will always stick with you. What you get from Farsight, you can get absolutely nowhere else. Stay ahead of the curve. Let the mainstream fade in the dust. Be there now. I'm Courtney Brown, Director of Farsight.